Our next presenter is Carrie Cullen, presenting on improving library and instruction accessibility using Morphic.
Thank you. All right, I think you're seeing my slides now. Yeah, great. I'm Carrie Cullen, a research librarian for physical sciences at UC Irvine. I am a white woman with auburn hair wearing glasses and a purple shirt. So take a moment, if you will, to imagine this scenario. You're sitting down to an unfamiliar library computer to do some work, and you're having trouble seeing the tiny icons at the top of the programs you're using. What do? Well, in a lot of cases, you can use a Control+ shortcut or a slider bar to zoom in on the text of a document. But this does nothing to increase the size of the menu text or the icons, the stuff that you actually need to use the features of a program. Even if you hover over items, they stay small. You get a pop-up with itty-bitty text in it. Frustrating, right? So this screenshot shows how much I can enlarge that text of the document, but those icons and the menu text stays super small. And you may not know that there are built-in features on most computers that allow you to enlarge everything on your screen. But you have to know where to look for these, because just typing in zoom or enlarge text in your system search bar isn't going to help you. And if you're already having trouble seeing, you shouldn't have to dig through layers of menus in order to find these settings. So the solution I offer you is the free Morphic toolbar, also known as a Morphic bar. And this is a toolbar that just makes the built-in accessibility tools on PCs and Macs convenient and easy to turn on and off. And I've got a link there if you're interested in downloading it for your personal computer. They don't need any information from you unless you'd like to create a custom toolbar, in which case you just give them your email. And for organizations, the solution they offer is Morphic Enterprise. This is still a free tool, and it allows your organization to create a customizable Morphic bar for your institution. The creators of the product will work with your IT department to set this up, and this is private and secure with no tracking or selling of data. Yay, we like that. So here's a link if you want to learn a little bit more about Morphic Enterprise. So the UCI libraries have been piloting Morphic, and this bar chart shows the usage before and after we installed Morphic. So the orange blocks are before Morphic was installed. The lavender is after Morphic. And the text size tool saw 83 uses before we installed Morphic, and zooms in the way, 270 uses after the fact. The magnifier, high contrast, and color blindness tools didn't see much usage at all before we installed this. That's why there's little teeny tiny bars there. The color blindness tool, in fact, wasn't used during our testing period. And then after we installed Morphic, they saw 83 uses for the magnifier, 125 uses for high contrast tool, and 33 uses for the color blindness tool. So we were really happy with this pilot. We didn't get any complaints about the installation of this tool, and clearly a lot more people are making use of the accessibility tools that are built in on our computers. So I don't have time in this lightning talk to go into this, but I have to mention Morphic's AT on Demand, which is still in development, but coming out soon. This is really exciting, and it allows users of assistive technology, things like Dragon Professional or JAWS, to use any computer in your library, not just the one station that has specialized software installed. So it's a really great leap forward in equity for people who need to use assistive tech. And you can learn more about it at that link there. So that is it for my super fast slides, and I'm going to jump out of these and let's move Zoom onto another screen so it's not in the way. And then I've got up the Lily schedule here to show you some examples of how Morphic works. So on our employee computers, Morphic is set up to be minimized at startup. So I just need to click on this little green lizard icon here in order to launch it. For our public computers, if you log in or boot up the computer, it's going to be open like this. And anyone who doesn't want to use it can just click that X and it goes away without any messages asking if you're sure or anything annoying like that. As I said, this is a customizable bar. So we have links here to our accessibility website and our Disability Services Center website. And then here is this text size tool, which I use all the time. Just click that plus and you'll see that it scales everything on my screen up nice and big. So even those icons become visible. And then just click that minus sign to go back down. If you happen to have really great eyesight, you can keep shrinking this, and that way you can fit more windows on your screen if that's something you're interested in. So let me scroll down really quick. The magnifier tool is something I find really useful when teaching. Say you want to draw folks' attention to something in particular, just click the show magnifier. And now I can show people where a login link is or draw their attention to some other content. And if I want to change the magnification, I can just do that there and go back down to hide. And now it has gone away. Um, okay, so I'm going to scroll up a little bit here. Okay, so this next tool, not so much accessibility related, but really handy, and it does make it more accessible. The snip tool, if I click copy, it's going to bring up crosshairs for me, and I can select the portion of my screen that I want to screenshot. And now that is on my clipboard, and I can paste that into a document. And I'm just remembering that I don't think I remembered to click share sound, so this probably won't work. But if you highlight text and click read selected, the built-in reader on your computer will read that text for you.
Over 13% of Americans identify as having one or more disabilities.
And you just click stop anytime you want that to stop. And so I'm probably about out of time here, but I just want to point out the contrast and color issues. I don't like to do those on Zoom because it's kind of disorienting for people to make that switch. But we can turn on high contrast mode, a color blindness filter, dark mode, or night mode would be a little easier on your eyes in the evening, just with a click, and it'll switch everything over nice and easy. So that is it for my presentation, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much, Carrie, for that presentation. So we have one question so far. It says, how did you learn about Morphic?
Yeah, so I'm on an IT accessibility work group at our university, and the creators of Morphic, which are the nonprofit Raising the Floor, they came in and did a presentation with us. They had a relationship with one of the folks who leads that group, and I was really excited about it right away. And so that's why we ended up launching this pilot. Thanks.
That's wonderful. Are there any other questions for Carrie? Everybody's making comments like this is going to be so useful and amazing with plus signs, cool beans. So thank you for showcasing that to all of us.
Oh, Nicole asked, what would I add to Morphic? Gosh, I don't know. It's really pretty useful. Like if you create a customized Morphic bar, you can have it do a lot of things for you already. There might be, there might be certain program tasks that are not an option, but say you want to just have a button that'll launch a Zoom chat with your supervisor right away in one click, you can do that. Yeah, that's a great question. I'd have to think on that to really come up with my master of the universe answers for that. I see Martha's asking, does it help with color blindness? It does. There's a color blindness filter on there. And so when you toggle that on, it'll bring up the color blindness filter options on your computer. So depending on what kind of color blindness you have, you can set it to show most effectively for you.
Thank you, Carrie. And I think we're almost out of time, but there was one question of, are you aware of any other institutions using Morphic?
There are a few. I couldn't name them offhand, but I know that they've listed them on their website. But it's definitely my hope. I'm meeting with some people to get it in classrooms in our university, and I'm hoping to get the rest of the University of California campuses on board as well. So spread the word. This is a great tool.
Thank you so much for your time, Carrie. Up next, we have Zach Wellhouse, and